Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at Cloud Made Simple for our Power BI and Data Analytics webinar. We're really excited to present this today. Power BI gives you fantastic analytics and a fantastic view of how your business is running. Cole Johnson is joining us today, and Cole is our marketing manager and our Power BI product manager. Also got Deepti here as our operations manager, and I'd also like to introduce Luke Murray, who's our new account manager. I'm sure Luke has spoken to many of you already, but he's just joined our team, and so if you haven't spoken to him, you will be speaking to him again very, very soon. As we said, we're really excited about this tool, Power BI. We've got a great presentation to deliver, and without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Cole to take you through Power BI and what it can do for your business. Cole.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Cole Johnson. I'm the marketing and project manager here at Cloud Made Simple. Very excited that you're joining us to learn about business intelligence, analytics, and Power BI. Today we'll talk about what business intelligence is, why it's so important in today's data culture, and how it can transform the way decisions are made at your organization. And lastly, we'll walk through some live Power BI dashboards so you can get a glimpse of the possibilities within it. So let me share my screen right now. I'm going to open up the presentation. I'll start off today with a quote I like to use about Power BI and data. It's from a Scottish writer who once said that he uses statistics as a drunken man uses lampposts for support rather than illumination. And many modern businesses still do just that, using data to support rather than drive their decisions. And knowing about your data is valuable only if it helps you make better decisions. So your organization might be sitting on the world's largest pile of data, but it's useless unless you have the means to translate it into insights that drive your business. So what I'm talking about here is data culture. A data-driven culture is a workplace that employs a consistent, repeatable approach to strategic decision-making using data proof. So put simply, it's an organization that bases decisions on data, not on gut instinct. And your company data is telling you a story about your business and where it's headed. So the question is, are you listening to it, and can you see it? So let me discuss a quick example to illustrate how business intelligence works. Tourism Australia, their goal is to obviously attract international visitors to iconic sites around the country. Until recently, their forecasting, campaign planning, and business reports were scattered across more than 200 different spreadsheets and documents throughout the company's locations. They had tons of data, from marketing campaigns to finance data to government data on immigration, and they needed a way to centralize it so members of their team could actually use it. And they started using a business intelligence and analytics solution, Power BI, that captured, analyzed, and visualized all that data from all the different areas of their company, and it's transforming the decisions that are made at the company because they can now see everything in one place. So what they did was they went from a really disconnected, inconsistent, inefficient setup to one in which any executive can open a dashboard from any device and see immediately how different areas of the company are performing. This essentially is business intelligence. Business intelligence, I'll refer to it as BI. It's the use of advanced IT technology to analyze data and increase organizational value. BI turns raw data information into actionable knowledge so that businesses like yourself can maximize your internal efficiency. If you think about the way you handle money within your company, you don't want employees wasting funds. So you give them a budget to understand where the money goes and measure the results of where it went. The same kind of thinking should be applied to data. Today we live in an environment where organizations collect and store huge amounts of data. And if that data isn't put to good use to serve the company, it becomes a big time burden for the organization. It's really easy to get lost in all the data, lost in the spreadsheets. But with BI, the process becomes optimized and automatic. So users can get to that knowledge that will improve their decision making in just a few clicks. It's important to note that BI also isn't just for large companies. I think a lot of times we think of it as a tool for the big corporations, but it's really for small business too. You can actually argue it's better for small business because, as you know, in a small business, you have less people who are wearing more hats, which means they need to be able to quickly identify the info they need as quickly as possible. And another benefit of business intelligence is getting visual is one of the best ways to explore and understand data, particularly when presenting it to customers, partners, or other stakeholders. Most BI tools use compelling charts and infographics, and they do it for you, so you don't have to spend the time on chart formatting and design. How many hours have you spent in Excel trying to make that graph look good? With business intelligence tools, it does all that hard work for you. Lastly, BI helps you to grow your business by revealing some trends in your performance that would otherwise go unnoticed. And it can help you see where you can unlock new growth opportunities pretty quickly. So let's talk about real quickly, what are the tools out there for businesses to use to help visualize and interact with data. As you can see, there are quite a few tools in the market today. The quadrant you really want to focus on in this from Gartner is the leaders in the top right, which are all around strong products. They offer the widest range of functionality to the widest range of customers, and they're all self-service BI tools. And you can see that Power BI is leading the way, and you'll see why in just a bit. The most popular choices among SMBs today are Power BI, Tableau, and Clipfolio. There are a lot of reasons why we recommend Power BI as the tool of choice, and one of them is that it answers most of the important questions a business needs to consider when thinking about a BI tool. It answers: is it a solution that can grow with you? What kinds of data connectors does it have, and can it connect to all the sources of data you have? Does it have great visualization options? Does it integrate well with other software programs you're using already? And is it easy to share reports and dashboards with those inside and outside of your company? Power BI answers all these questions with a definitive yes, and not all the other ones do. So today we're obviously talking in depth about Power BI as the fully integrated tool in Office 365, which most of you are already using. It's also the most flexible tool for small to medium businesses. So let's get to know Power BI. I'll run through a few key highlights before we dive into the live demo. Power BI enables you to better visualize your business and provides a canvas to build the connections to your data to create a 360-degree view of your business. And here's how it works. Simply, it is really complicated, but this is simply how it works. It's a live connection to your data must be set up and then connected to Power BI. The visualizations that are created represent and compare your data against other data. And as your data is updated through your various sources that you have, your visualizations are also updated, so it's all live. And then those visualizations are in dashboards and reports that you can then access by your computer or mobile device. With Power BI, you can connect to all the data around you. So it can be connected to Excel files, databases, files that are on your server or in the cloud, and you can automatically connect to software services you already use like Smartsheet, MyOb, Xero, Salesforce, and so many more. As you'll see in the live demo that we're going to do, there are both dashboards and reports that provide an in-depth or a consolidated view of what you most want to see in your data in a visual form. Power BI also has built-in artificial intelligence where you can ask natural questions of your data and see the answers in a visual way. Power BI gives you really quick insights in your data without having to spend so much time mining your data and creating the spreadsheets and charts like we talked about to get what you're looking for. If you have Windows 10, Cortana integration allows you to access your data by asking questions directly through Cortana, which is nice. And Power BI comes built in with incredible visualization options and also enables developers like ourselves to easily add custom visuals into Power BI for use in your dashboards and reports. Your reports can be published to the web. They can be embedded into SharePoint, exported to PowerPoint. Basically, we can put them wherever you want and set up the correct permissions on them for who can view them. And as with all Microsoft apps, they're fully integrated. So Power BI allows for seamless integration, seamless navigation of their apps in Office 365 and team collaboration. In addition to the web client, there are Windows, iPhone, iPad, Android apps that keep users connected to the data wherever they are. And lastly, before our live demo, Power BI is fully compliant and a part of the Microsoft Trust Center, ensuring that the data you have is held in accordance with stringent industry safeguards. So now I'm gonna jump into the live demo. And again, if you have any questions along the way, definitely feel free to ask on the Q&A on the side tool of the webinar. You can jump in and ask. I'll try to answer them as we go or at the end of the session here. So you can access Power BI within your Office 365 account, and I'm just going to click on the app here. And I will try to go slow because I know we're all using different internet connections, and sometimes a bit of a lag can look like your screen is jumping around. So I'll try to go slow. And we're going to go through two different dashboards and reports today. And you can see on the left side here are the different dashboards and reports we have in this example. The first one we're going to walk through is called customer profitability. In this example, our data is being pulled into Power BI from an ERP system. The key metrics we're looking at here are about 5 business unit managers, products, customers, and gross margin. What we're looking at now is the dashboard. At a glance here, you can see what factors are impacting profitability. And to remind you, Power BI is made up of both dashboards and reports. Dashboards are selectively pinned visuals like you're looking at now, and they're pinned from the reports. Dashboards allow you to see everything on one screen, and they're meant to give the high-level staff at the company a high-level view of the metrics that are important to them. So if we were to click on a tile here, it's actually going to take us to the report where that item was built and where it lives. And this is an example of a report, and you can see at the bottom we have a few different pages in our report. I'm going to go back to the dashboard here. The tiles on the right side of this dashboard provide a team scorecard. So in this example, a business owner needs to keep track of the different managers and salespeople of the different business units at the company. And it gives them a high-level overview of profit using gross margin percentage. So if the trend is unexpected for any manager, they can investigate further. It's also important to note that sensitive items like this can be restricted to only certain individuals within the company. Permissions to reports and dashboards can be set up on a per user basis. So let's look at one of the team members in detail and see what insights can be gained. For this, I'm going to go to the customer profitability report that we were just looking at. In the reports, you have options to slice and filter the data. So on the slicer on the left here, if I click on Andrew, you can see the graphs change to display data only about Andrew. So let's just look at this real quick. For a quick KPI, we can see Andrew's revenue status is green, which is good. He's performing well. The revenue variance percentage to budget by month shows, except for the dip in February here, he's performing overall pretty well. His dominant region here is the East. You can see that pretty easily. He handles 49 customers, 5 out of the 7 products in this company. Let's find out, for example, what region he isn't doing well in, this really small one. If we click on it, and we discover it's in the central region. The state of Indiana here in the central region is the only one he has revenue in, and you can see it was in March. So the business owner therefore can use this page to compare. Is this something intentional? Is this something that needs looking into, and can have that conversation with Andrew. Towards the bottom of the report, we see the multiple pages here. So I'm going to click on the industry margin analysis. A business owner might want to use this page, and again, this is an example. Every set of data looks different with different sets of graphs for each data. But in this example, I'm just showing you the possibilities that are out there. And in this one, we want to compare business unit metrics to industry metrics. How does profitability vary by industry our customers in? So if we click on services, we can see how we compare. We can quickly find out and see which products in this total revenue by product, which ones are providing the most revenue in this industry, and it's this Primus product. If we click on it, we can quickly see on the right side here which managers are doing the most gross margin for this product. Now, if I clear out the industry and go back here, and let's say I want to see more about this bubble chart, and let's say you're the manager and you're interested in seeing revenue by industry by one of our sales reps, let's say Carlos. If I click on Carlos, the graph changes for this, but it's a little hard to see. So we can actually pop this out and see a little bit further. We can investigate into these into the revenue by industry for Carlos. And if we found this really important to us, we can actually pin this to our dashboard. And then we can see it then on our dashboard as a tile that we can quickly view and get back into. To note a few more things about reports, these visualizations can all be very different. So if you have permissions to edit reports, I'm just going to show you real quick what the data looks like visualized a little bit differently. So if we click on this total revenue by product, you can see that I can quickly change. Let's say I want to change this into a bar graph. I can do that here. And if I want to add some dating context to this, I can go to our fields on the right. And these fields are actually the tables that we pulled into Power BI from the ERP system, and we got them all talking to one another. So if I want to add a month to this, you can see I can add a month and change it. See how everything looks by changing just a few things in this. And every time we do a Power BI deployment or setup for a company, we always offer training so that you understand how to make these quick adjustments and edits to your reports and to your data. The last feature I'll show on this report before we look at a different one, I'm gonna go back into the dashboard here, is we can ask questions about our data. Like I had mentioned in the presentation. So let's say we want, we don't have a graph about any of this, but if we want to know what our total revenue, just click on that. Let's do it by product and by salesperson or executive. And we can see that that graph wasn't, we didn't have that anywhere, but Power BI's built-in intelligence queries your data to pull it into a nice visualization that I can now pin to my dashboard, or I can edit it further. So that's a really cool and nice, handy feature to ask questions of all your data that is in Power BI. So let's take a look at one more different report, and I'm going to open the sales report. The data in this report was originally in an Excel spreadsheet. We just uploaded it to SharePoint, and it has pulled it in through Excel Online. So the first tab we're looking at here is an overview of our sales. It shows our data sliced in many different ways. We can sort by month or year or product line or status of order or deal size. Now, if I click on the contacts tab of this report, you can see how you can use maps in Power BI to quickly identify locations of your customers. So if you wanted to see exactly which customers were in Mossvale, you could quickly see then on the right which customers you had, and if you wanted to drill into them further, you click on the customer and see more information about them. So, and let's say you have the locations of your customers in your billing software, and you have your product sales from these customers are kept in different spreadsheets, or maybe you have a different system than your billing software. So you have two different systems where these data are in, but it would be nice to compare that to know exactly where your sales are coming from and the quantity of those. And you can see this is the real power and beauty of Power BI, where you can bring in data from anywhere. You can slice it, filter it, and compare it against other data from a completely different area in your company to show you a whole new view into what is happening in your organization. You can see that if I want to know which region the canopies are selling in best, I click on canopies, excuse me, and we can see the answer based on the different pie charts is clearly Victoria, and by the color map over here. And if I wanted to see exactly which customers were purchasing canopies in Victoria, I could click on that, and we can drill further into that data, but I don't want to spend too much time on this here, so we can make sure we capture a few other things in this, make sure we allow some time for some questions. A few other nice things we can easily do in Power BI is bring in data from your website, such as where your traffic is coming from, how many sessions per week are happening on your site, what devices people are using. All of this we can connect to from Google Analytics. So a few last items to note on Power BI. Dashboards and reports can be shared with others internally and externally, and they can be shared automatically as well if you like. So if you have you have a sales report that you want to have go out every Monday to a certain group of people, we can set that up. Dashboards can also be published to SharePoint, to a web page. They can be put up on a TV screen in your office, just about anywhere. And the data is automatically refreshed. And it can be refreshed as often as every hour or every minute, depending on how the data connection is set up. And I just want to mention once again, all the graphs that you've seen in these reports are custom to this data. We don't use templates in Power BI. You really can't when you're working with custom data. Every company has their own data and they're using it in a different way. So we build everything to be custom to your data, so it makes the most sense of what you're viewing. So what we walk through here are examples of reports to show you the possibilities that are out there and give you a sense without completely overwhelming you. although the working with a vast amount of data, which you probably have, can be complicated, and we're here to help. So I'm going to jump back and do a few slides here. You're probably wondering how do I get started with Power BI? These are important questions to ask, and we'd love to sit down with each of you to walk through these questions and help you answer them. But this is always a good starting point to know where your data is, what kind of data you want to report on, is a good starting place. The licensing for Power BI is around $15 per month per user, but a bulk of the important work is actually in the setup, in the deployment of Power BI, which entails bringing your data into Power BI and creating all the reports. And we're here to handle that entire process for you. We make it really simple. So we do everything from the consultation around your business goals. Understanding those goals are really important to create the reports and the dashboards, to get them to look how you want. We do all the tweaking of those until we get them right for you. We connect to all your data sources, which can be somewhat complex, but we haven't had a data source we haven't been able to connect to before. So we can connect to just about everything. And we do all the data transformation. So data is rarely in the right format for a self-service tool like Power BI, and it must be transformed and cleaned before it can be properly used. And so we provide these capabilities as an integrated part of our data preparation process. We also do the configuring of licenses, setting up user permissions, and the training on Power BI, which we do a couple hours of that. It's really important for you to understand, obviously, how to use all your reports, how to make adjustments as you go along. And our deployments start around $3,000, and it's based on the complexity of data, how much data you have, how many reports you want. So any questions or want to get started on that, we're happy to talk to that further with you. You can contact us directly, send an email to Gavin and I. But this time I wanted to open it up for any questions. Let's see if we had anything. Somebody asked, could you please elaborate on options for sharing a dashboard, say with third parties or even customers who do not have Power BI, but with whom you can collaborate, and what are the software and licensing implications? So to share Power BI, you need a Power BI Pro license, which is the licensing I was talking about, around $15 a month per user. That allows you to share reports. You can also publish reports to the web, and it creates an anonymous link that you can then send to an external party, which they can then view that. As long as you keep that link published, they can view that link, which they see an updated dashboard of that data, and that's all they can see. They can't see anything else within your Power BI account or your other reports. They can only see the one that you've shared with them. So those are just a couple of the quick and easy ways. There's a few other options, and we could get into detail about that further if you had any other further questions on that. Anyone else have any other questions they want to throw in here?
Seems all good, Cole.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll turn it over to Gav just to mention a few last items here. And again, we're happy to chat through anything further. And if you'd like a further demonstration of Power BI or want to talk further about your requirements, I'm happy to do that. So over to you, Gav.
Thanks for that, Cole. That was brilliant. You might notice down on the slide, as we can see there, it's our new logo, Cloud Made Simple IT Consultants. That's a bit of a preview. So early next month, there's some big things coming as far as our new website and so forth. So that's exciting from our point of view. Next webinar is on the 7th of March, and it's a really important topic. It's about IT security, and I think that's such an important part of everybody's business now, is to make sure their IT is secure. There's so many people out there with sending out phishing emails, people being hacked. So we've got a security expert from Microsoft who's going to be joining us on that. So you'll see more about that in the next couple of weeks when we send out invitations for that. Again, thank you very much for attending. Thanks again, Cole, for going through Power BI. We look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon. No worries. Thank you. Bye.